Hello and welcome to Mountain Mode Gear Reviews. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a really cool piece of kit. The Garmin Montana 700. First of all, a big thank you to Ecological Logistics from South Africa, who sent me this demo unit of the Montana to try out. Ecological Logistics is based in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and if you guys are looking for Garmin wearable products and a whole bunch of other really cool gear, definitely check out the links below in the description to get a link to their website and to all the great things that they're doing, as well as a special offer. If you're watching this video and you're interested in purchasing a Garmin 700 during the next month, Ecological Logistics will give you 5% off and free shipping within South Africa if you purchase using the code Mountain Mode. So big thank you to them, and now it's time to get into the review. Let's go for it. So before I start giving you a list of the 10 things that I really love about this GPS, I wanted to just give you a quick overview of what this thing is and what it does. There are 3 models within the 700 lineup. The standard 700 does not have the satellite communicator built in. The 700i, which is this one, has got the InReach capability. And then the 750 has got all of that plus a camera. So this GPS was released in August of 2020, so it's pretty new. And in the Garmin lineup, this is one of the top-end handheld outdoor GPSs. It is not specifically an aviation GPS, although through this video I'm going to make the case that for backcountry and for bush flying, having a GPS like this is really invaluable and definitely something you should consider. It has an 18-hour battery with normal GPS use, or up to 2 weeks in expedition mode. It's got a bunch of different connections. So it's got the Iridium antenna, it's got the normal GPS, has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and support for all of Garmin's ANT antennas as well. It's got a 16 gig built-in memory, a barometric altimeter, a compass, and probably its biggest feature is just the water resistance and the rugged case that it's in. So I want to get into 10 things that I love about this GPS. And number one is definitely the screen. So as you can see by looking at it, this thing has got a huge screen. In terms of the handheld GPS range, I think that this is probably one of the biggest screens that you're going to be able to get a hold of. When you're hiking, driving, or even flying with this, having such a big screen makes a huge difference. It's a good balance between having a good resolution and also being energy efficient. Number 2 is the InReach function. So this is not just a GPS, and that's maybe what makes this thing really special, is that it is a GPS, but it's also a two-way satellite messenger. So you can see this antenna on top, that's the Iridium antenna, and on the side here it has this SOS button. But essentially built into this GPS is a two-way satellite messenger, meaning if you have an InReach subscription, and that's through Garmin, if you have one of those subscriptions, you are able to, when you're out of cell phone signal, you're able to send and receive messages as well as send in track points to and from this device. So having the built-in InReach system is really a game changer for this GPS. Put in your satellite messenger and your GPS into one. Number 3 for me is the ruggedness of this device. This has been tested to military standard 810, which is outlines a whole bunch of tests that these devices are capable of withstanding, and that's temperature, pressure and vibration tests. It has a water resistance rating that allows it to be submersed accidentally. So I love that I can just throw this in a backpack or in my pocket, or on the dashboard or whatever of a vehicle, and it's going to withstand all of that. Number 4 is the battery life. So Garmin say that using normal GPS mode in this will give you up to 18 hours of battery life. So that's a full day of hiking or running or something like that. But if you happen to be using it for an expedition where you're not able to recharge, you can set it to expedition mode, and that will turn off a bunch of features, put it into low power mode, but it's still going to be tracking at lower intervals, and that will give you 330 hours of use. So you could be away for over a week with expedition mode and still have your track recorded, at least to some degree. So I've been using this device flying for a couple of weeks now, and the one feature that I really love is the built-in altimeter. So what I can do when I'm flying is calibrate the altimeter at an altitude that I know, and this gives me a great cross-reference to my aircraft altimeter, as well as tracking the pressure changes and things like that, especially as I move from the lowlands out into the mountains. Having the built-in altimeter and barometer on here has really been a great feature to have and to use. Number 6 is all of the different types of maps, topographical maps, where you have a lot of detail about, even in Lesotho here, where it's pretty remote, you've got a lot of information about villages, rivers, roads, trails, all that kind of thing is showing up on these very detailed shaded relief topographic maps. Also has the bird's eye imagery, which is great. If you know a specific area you're going to, you can download that with Bird's Eye Direct. When you're in a Wi-Fi connection, you can download that, and that is free of charge with this device. And then you have the city navigation maps, which are great when you're in a vehicle driving and navigating, especially if you go to a country or a place where you may not have a cell phone and Google Maps is not going to be useful. So having a city map on here is really great. I really love the car mount that comes with this device. What I like about it is I've used it a lot in the aircraft and in the car, and it has a built-in speaker to the car mount, so you clip it in. That gives it obviously the external power if that's plugged into the vehicle. And what I found really useful is, depending on the space you have, like in the cockpit, I can have the device in portrait mode. When I'm in a vehicle, I can flip it around and have it more in a traditional vehicle style mode. And that car mount is just really a great accessory, and I've loved all the options that gives me flying and driving. Another really cool feature with this device is the geocaching option. So if you do geocaching, and if you're into that, which is a really fun hobby and pastime, this device has a geocaching app built into it. Number 9 is the connectivity. I love that this thing can connect to different devices in multiple ways. So you can plug this straight into the computer with the micro USB, manage your data like that. You can also use the Bluetooth connection to do updates to software and maps using the app straight to your phone. You can also use Wi-Fi to do similar kinds of updates, downloads for bird's eye imagery and all those kind of things. Number 10, the thing that maybe I love the most about this device is the customization options. So, like I said at the start, this is primarily an outdoor handheld device, but I found that it is so customizable and changeable that you can use it in a lot of environments. Walking and hiking is definitely one of its strong points, but using it in a vehicle, you flip it on its side and put it in the car mount, and it changes into a vehicle-based navigation system. Or you put it in the car charger and put that in an aircraft, and you have now some topographical maps with you, and you have an InReach device that's also there. Being able to quickly tap the functions to change between profiles makes that pretty seamless. Get in the car, change the profile to automotive, and everything is set up and ready to go for that. Into the aircraft, change my profile to fly-in, and same thing, it changes, sets everything up, the units that I want, the type of maps, the display preferences, all of that are just changed as I flip over into those different profiles. So I guess the big question is, why get something like this if your cell phone can do all of this stuff, maybe besides the satellite communicator? Well, I think essentially what it comes down to is that this is specifically built to be an outdoor, rugged, and long-lasting device. And if you're going to be venturing out far to remote places where you need that kind of reliability, then having something like this is going to be a lot more trustworthy than navigating with a phone and using a phone as your primary emergency locator device. For me personally, I am planning to add this device into my flying gear and into the gear that I take with me whenever I go out hiking or driving or flying into the mountains. Having something like this with the data and the information it's given me on the maps, as well as the satellite communicator, for me is really invaluable, and this is going to be a great device to have in my kit. So all in all, I'm really impressed with this GPS, and I'm excited to make it part of my kit moving forward. Thanks for watching, appreciate it, and thanks again to Ecological Logistics for sponsoring this and for the great offer for anyone who is interested in getting hold of one of these. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a really... Oh, come on, man.